Pleasant Hills Public Library, and I'm so excited that you're here with me today for STEAM stories. So let's see. Do you remember what all the letters in STEAM stand for? Science, technology, engineering, arts, and math. And today we will be using those subject areas to learn more about rainbows. Have you ever seen a rainbow in the sky? Maybe after a rain, and there it is, so beautiful up in the sky. How about a rainbow somewhere else? Have you ever noticed one on a wall in your house reflecting through the window? We're going to learn a lot more about how rainbows are made. But first, let's read our fun title story, A Rainbow of My Own. Our story today is A Rainbow of My Own, written and illustrated by Don Freeman, and read today with permission of Penguin Random House. It's an oldie but a goodie, and I hope you enjoy it. Today I saw a rainbow. It was so beautiful that I wanted to catch it for my very own. I put on my raincoat and hat and ran outdoors. Fast as the wind I ran. But when I came to where the rainbow should have been, it wasn't there. I thought, maybe some rainy day a rainbow will come and stay a while. I'll be walking along slowly, and suddenly I'll hear a soft whirling sound like the wings of a bird. And I'll look around and see a rainbow following me. I'll know by the way it circles and whirls that it wants to play. So I'll hop over my rainbow, and my rainbow will leap over me. I'll climb up one side and slide down the other. My rainbow will make a peacock fan for me to walk in front of, and a hammock for me to swing in. We'll play a game of hide and go seek. I'll shut my eyes and count to 20, and then look all around. If I were a rainbow, where would I hide? Oh, in a flower garden, of course. Rows of flowers look like a rainbow. Suddenly, the sun came out again from behind the rain clouds, and my pretend rainbow disappeared the way real rainbows do. But when I came back home, I saw something glowing inside the window of my room. And when I ran indoors, there was a rainbow dancing on the wall. The sun was shining through the water in my goldfish bowl, and it made a rainbow just for me. A rainbow of my very own. Now, you may notice that the rainbow in this story doesn't have all of the colors that we think of when we think of a rainbow. Can you think of the colors that are in the rainbow? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. What causes rainbows to appear in the sky? Well, if you've ever seen one before, you may have observed that it just finished raining or that it's actively raining, and the sun is shining, which is a little strange but cool because when the sun reflects through the raindrops, a rainbow appears. So in order to have a rainbow, you need sun and rain. And when you put them together, rainbow! Have you ever wondered why rainbows appear to be curved in the sky? It's because raindrops are curved, so the sunshine that is being reflected out of the raindrops also has that curved appearance. Legend says that if you can find the end of the rainbow, you'll find where a leprechaun has hidden his gold. Just in time for St. Patrick's Day, huh, friends? But that's not actually true. Did you know that rainbows are actually a circle, so they have no end? We just can't usually see all of the rainbow. Sir Isaac Newton is perhaps best known for discovering gravity, or really understanding how gravity works. But did you know that he also figured out how rainbows are made? We're going to read a couple pages from this interesting biography, Newton's Rainbow, The Revolutionary Discoveries of a Young Scientist, written by Catherine Lasky and illustrated by Kevin Hawkes, and read with permission from Macmillan Publishing. The pages that we are going to read deal all about his experiments with prisms. Now, if you would like to learn more about Sir Isaac Newton, give us a call. You can either come into the library via appointment to browse our books on him, or we can pick a couple for you to check out using our curbside pickup service. We're going to read now about his discovery of how rainbows are made using prisms. People at the time believed that all light were white. Some even believed that colors were made by blending different tones of darkness with the white light. But Isaac wasn't sure. He wanted to explore the nature of light. He wanted to find out how it travels and what its ingredients really were. A year or so earlier, Isaac had gone to a country fair and bought a child's toy prism. He knew that when light passed through the prism, it broke up into the colors of the rainbow. He also knew that when he looked through a telescope, he observed a halo of color that often made the star harder to see, and he wondered why this happened. First, he took the prisms into his bedroom and closed all the curtains and the shutters so that it was completely dark. Then he let a needle-thin beam of sunlight from outside shine into the room through a small hole in the window shutters and pass through the prism. All the colors of the rainbow played across the wall of his bedroom, and always in the same order: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. He next tried another experiment. This experiment used 2 pinholes and 2 prisms. The first pinhole was the one in the shutters, and as before, light from the pinhole passed through the first prism. From that prism, all the colors were refracted onto a wooden board. This board had a second pinhole, allowing only one of the 7 colors to pass through it to the second prism. People had long believed that it was the prism coloring the light, but Isaac's experiment proved that that was not true. For if it had been, all the colors would have returned after the light passed through the second prism, and they did not. Isaac had shown that prisms did not color the light, and that light itself was composed of 7 different colors. And if this wasn't proof enough, he tried one more experiment. This time he again used 2 prisms, but placed the second one upside down. Now the first prism split the beam of the white light into 7 separate colors, and the second prism brought them back together to make white light once again. Isaac had discovered the secret of the rainbow, and it was not a pot of gold at the end. A rainbow was the 7 different colors of white light after passing through the tiny prisms formed by raindrops in the atmosphere. Fascinating stuff, huh, friends? If you're lucky enough to have a prism at home, you could try replicating Sir Isaac Newton's experiment. If you don't have a prism at home, that's okay. I don't have one. We're going to try a different experiment. What you'll need for this one is a large container of water, preferably a glass bowl or a clear plastic container, a mirror, and a flashlight. Let's gather our supplies. So now we have our supplies: a very large clear container of water. We also have a smaller one so we can experiment, a flashlight, and a mirror. Now it's not going to work very well with all these bright lights, so it's best to do this experiment somewhere you can make very dark. I'm going to move the flashlight around in different ways and see if you can spot the rainbows.
Sometimes it's reflected on the glass itself, and sometimes it's reflected on the table. It's never quite super bright, but it's still there. Pretty cool, huh, friends? If you didn't have a flashlight, you could also do this with sunlight. Place a glass container of water in a window where sun comes through and watch the rainbows bounce all on your walls.
And now it's time for STEAM. So, we are providing take-home kits with all the supplies you'll need to make your very own spectroscope. These kits are available in our lobby while supplies last. If you are unable to get a kit for whatever reason, you will need a paper towel tube that you can cut, a CD, a piece of paper you can cut, and some tape. Have you heard of a spectroscope before? They're similar to prisms, except for instead of reflecting the light, they bend the light. This bending is called diffraction. And the way it works with the CD is that the CD looks like it's smooth, but it's actually not. If you were to look at it under a microscope, you would see that it is full of waves and bumps. And when the light hits those waves and bumps, the different wavelengths of the colors bend in lots of different directions, creating a rainbow. Let's head over to our craft table to learn a little bit more about how we build our spectroscope. The tubes we've provided in our kit are pre-cut, but if you're working from a regular old tube, you will need a grown-up to help you cut a peephole and then a slit that's at about a 40-degree angle. When I was cutting, I found that it was best if the slit ended below the peephole. Next, we're going to take our tube, put it on our paper, and trace around, making that circle. Now we're going to cut it out. When you cut it out, cut a little bit wider so that we can fold and tape it down and create a nice seal. Before we tape it down, we need to make a slit, similar to the little peephole that Sir Isaac Newton made using his shutters. So let's fold it over and very carefully cut it in the middle. Now, just doing a single cut isn't going to be quite big enough. So at that point, you can make it a little bit wider. Make a nice, not too big, of a hole. I see you. Then you're going to take your paper and put it on the side opposite of the pre-cut peephole. And now this gets a little tricky. We're going to bend it over and use a lot of tape to put it in place. Ta-da! One thing I forgot to mention, friends, is that if you would like to decorate your paper towel tube, you totally should. Just do that before you add this part. You could color with crayons, markers, colored pencils, or paint. If you do paint, make sure that it's completely dry before you do this step. All right, now that we have our cover with the little hole and our slit and our peephole, we're going to take our CD. In our kit, we're withdrawn audiobooks, but any kind of CD will work. And even if it's a little scratch like some of ours are, it still works. Pinch your tube right at the base of that slit to create a little bit of an opening. And you're going to put your CD in with the shiny side facing up towards your slit. And work it all the way in as deep as you can. And now here comes the fun part. You're going to hold your spectroscope up to your light source, whether you're outside, inside, under fluorescent lights like I am, or maybe you're inside with a candle or a flashlight. Hold it up so that the peephole is facing the light and look through your peephole. What do you see? Oh, I see a rainbow. Pretty cool. Now you can try it again, making a bigger hole, a smaller hole, and try it with different light sources and see how what you see changes.
We would love to see pictures of your completed spectroscope. You can email us pictures to pleasanthills@einetwork.net or post them to our special Facebook group, Pleasant Hills Library Virtual Programming.